Logan, they're here.
Who's here?
Our listener.
Oh, cool. Hey, listeners. Glad you guys are here.
Hey, this is episode number 64 of Nascar Radio, where trading cards and racing meet. I'm your pal Val, and with me is the man, the myth, the legend, Logan, King Nascar. How are you?
I'm fine. How you doing, dude?
I'm doing great. And Jason is out today. He's on the DL. We hope that speed recovery.
Yeah, he's on the injured reserve. He'll be back next week. He's doing good.
Yeah.
Hey, before we get started, I would like to send our thoughts and prayers to everyone affected by the mass shooting in Collierville, Tennessee. That's like about 5 miles from my house. I heard a bunch of helicopters and sirens going on that day. Had no idea what was going on until later on in the afternoon. It's very, very sad. So, uh, just like I said, thoughts and prayers out to everyone affected, all the families and everything in that tragic situation.
Amen. Life is short. Hug those close to you.
Yep, because you never know, man. Those people were just going to the grocery store. They didn't think anything like that would happen. Anyway, it was terrible, but I guess it was just terrible. That's all I got to say.
We got a great show for everybody today. We're going to review the Camping World Truck Series, Xfinity, and Cup Series, and with the winners and the highest finishing rookies. We're going to talk about IndyCar, their season wrapped up, little F1. Then we're going to dive over to 1991 Max Mcdonald set that was produced. If we have time, we're going to talk about some eBay auctions. We got release dates for Prism Racing and National Treasures Racing.
Yay, that's gonna be cool. I can't wait.
So I don't know. Is this the tease that we sprinkle this in somewhere in the episode, make everybody listen, or do we tell everybody?
No, let's just wait, man. Let's do our normal stuff and we'll keep on
Okay,
trucking.
let's do it. So the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series race number 19. That was the 25th annual Victoria's Voice Foundation 200, presented by Westgate Resorts. That was Friday, September 24th at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Viva Las Vegas.
Viva Las Vegas. Thank you very much.
Our winner, Christian Eckes. And our highest finishing rookie, Chase Purdy at position 13.
Yeah, we don't talk about those guys too much.
No, I don't think we were talking about Christian Eckes at all. His rookie's 2020 Panini Chronicles. He's in Ascension Autographs, Spectra. He's also in National Treasures, which that kind of surprised me. Social Signatures with Treasure Debut. He's also in Panini Prism. I did not remember him being in 2020 Panini Prism, but sure enough, he was. I was kind of scouting some of those cards, and with the plethora of parallels, I was looking at this list of parallels. There's like 15, 20. And then there's
Yeah.
signing sessions as well. There's about 10 of those. So if Christian Eckes is your guy, you got a few cards to collect. So, and I don't think the prices are that bad. So, and then moving over to Chase Purdy. Not as many cards. 2019, he's in the Dunruss, next in line. And there's just a few of those with the base, cracked ice, explosion, the 10, and the holographic.
So would you say those are Purdy cards?
Very nice. I did not think of that. Yes. Well, I
Them
would say,
cards is Purdy.
well, I was going to say the Purdy cards are going to be the Panini Prism driver signatures and the different parallels for that. So there's the unnumbered version, there's camo unnumbered version, and then everything else is numbered from, looks like 99 and down. The red, white, and blue is not numbered either. So, but then these guys are, in the truck level. So haven't been in, like I said, rookie cards that long. So never know if they're going to be moving up to Xfinity or not. But Christian Eckes getting his first win.
Yeah, that was a cool race. In fact, I think that was out of all three races this weekend. I think that one to me was the most entertaining race. They had a big wreck with 64 laps to go. Sheldon Creed T-boned Chandler Smith, and that was a heck of a hit. I don't know if anybody saw that, but if you didn't, go back. There's highlights out there. It was a really bad really bad wreck, and Sheldon Creed's truck caught on fire. He jumps out. He goes over to see if Chandler Smith is okay because, like I said, that was a really hard hit. And not only that, Haley Deegan was in her Craftsman truck, and she was in that wreck as well. Too bad. She tore her truck up pretty good, and she was pretty upset about being wrecked. So I kind of felt for her on that. And then with like 10 laps to go, Val's buddy, Hokovar, he had an issue, and he was coming into the pits, and he intentionally spun himself out to throw a caution. So that wasn't very smart. So they ended up penalizing him a lap, and so they restarted with like 4 laps to go, and that's when Christian Eckes got out front and won, and that was a 1, 2, 3, 4 finish for Thor Motorsports.
Wow,
that was cool. It was a cool race, and that's the first time that's ever happened in the Truck Series.
Yeah, Christian Eckes, Ben Rhodes, Matt Crafton, and Johnny Sauter. They got a good stable of drivers.
They do. Yeah, but when Hokovar, he was wearing white gloves, and they showed him turning the wheel, I think to the left and then back to the right again, and so you could tell he intentionally spun himself out. So I mean, he needs to wear black gloves next time. Maybe he'll have a better chance of getting away with that.
Yeah, I was gonna say that doesn't work out the way you think it does.
Yeah, that was, I thought it was kind of funny. I mean, in a way, it's really not cool because you're in a way you're kind of manipulating the end of the race, but it still was kind of funny to me.
Yeah, I missed that end of that race. I had it recorded, and naturally, I didn't have it going over. I fixed that problem from now on, but that does not help me with that. So, but next race number 20. That's the Chevrolet Silverado 250 at Talladega Super Speedway. That's Saturday, October 2nd at 1 p.m. Stages are 20, 40, 94 laps for 250.04 miles.
Man, I'm thinking about hopping in the car on Sunday and driving down there. It's just a thought right now. I don't know, because this is a big weekend. There's actually a card show in Nashville also on Saturday. Big card show, and I'm thinking about going to that. So I'm gonna have to pick one or the other because there's just no way I can be gone both days like that.
Decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Over in Xfinity, that was race number 27. That was the 4th annual ASCO Uniforms 302. That was Saturday, September 25th, also at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Viva Las Vegas.
Oh, thank you very much.
The winner was Josh Berry, and the highest finishing rookie was Josh Berry.
Yay. I love Josh Berry. I'm glad he won. He did good.
He did really good. He was way out there.
Mm-hmm. I was proud of him. That just goes to show you, I think, that was just a glimpse of what you're going to see next year because he'll be full-time next year. And, of course, he did win in a JR Motorsports car. So he was subbing. Who was he subbing for? I forget who he was subbing for. But he was in
Annette?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So he's in a substitute role for, yeah, that's right, in the number 1 car. So that just gives you a glimpse of what's going to happen next year. I think he's going to really be good.
Yeah, filling in for another driver, and you win the race, and you're a rookie. It's like the bonus round, right?
Ding, ding, ding. Yep.
Yeah. So that's awesome. We've talked about Josh Berry a few times as he's been either the winner or highest finishing rookie in the Xfinity Series. His first cars are in 2013 Press Pass Total Memorabilia. Way back, Press Pass days.
Yeah, it makes him look like an old man.
Yeah. And so that's card number 44. And there's a few parallels to that. There's a red version that's out of the retail, I believe out of the Blasters maybe. And then there's a gold version numbered 275 and a black and white version numbered to 99. And then there are 4 different parallels to the Rising Stars autographs. And I remember that one. That's a thick card, and it's kind of 2 cards in one, where the first layer has a shadow box or whatever, and the autograph's in there, and then that other card is on top with that die cut out.
Yeah, it's
And
kind of like a cut.
yeah, so there's like I said, a few versions of that. There's a silver only numbered to 125, so these are 125 or less. Then there's a gold version to 99, the blue holofoil to 25, and the melding to 5. And then he has cards this year in the 2021 Chronicles, all the different bunch of subsets. So,
Yeah,
but his first cards,
he's in all the flavors.
yeah, but his first card was in the 2013 Total Memorabilia. Next race, number 28. That's the Sparks 300 at Talladega Super Speedway. That is also Saturday, October 2nd at 4:30. Stages are 25, 25, 63 laps for 300 miles.
Yeah, that'll be a good race. It'll unfortunately it'll be probably a crash fest. They'll have a big one or two.
Yeah, definitely. So, if I don't know if we want to talk about the playoff standings after Las Vegas or not, but that Mike Snyder, Jeb Burton, Riley Hurst, and Jeremy Clements, they're kind of on the outside looking in, so they need a win here in the next round or two.
Yeah, I think Riley Herbst and Jeremy Clements are about out of it, and Jeb Burton for that matter. The other person I think may have a chance of getting into the top 8 or the round of 8 is going to be Mike Snyder.
Yeah, so Brandon Jones or Harrison Burton or even Justin Haley, there's a plus 17, plus 13, plus 10, so they're kind of on the cut line there. So one of them is going to have to give for one of the other ones to advance. So exciting playoff time.
Yeah, and Austin Cindric and AJ Allmendinger are pretty much a lock to go ahead and move on to the next round, because Austin Cindric is 66 points ahead of 9th place, and then Allmendinger's 59 points. So I mean, when you consider a race being, 32 points plus whatever stage points you get, I mean that's a big cushion right there.
And that's why, they were racing for those stage points during the season.
Absolutely.
Yep. Moving over to Cup. That was race number 30. That was the 4th annual South Point 400, and that was Sunday, September 26th, also at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Denny Hamlin was our winner. Highest finishing rookie was Chase Briscoe at position 13. Now, we've talked about Denny Hamlin just a few weeks ago, and for somebody who he was kind of consistent during the year but didn't have any wins, and talk about turning it on in the playoffs, winning that for the first win to come in that other round to make him advance to this round, and then winning this round, now automatically advancing to the next round. He's doing it like the best way possible.
Yeah, there's something to be said about momentum and mojo, and right now he's got it for sure.
So I know we were talking all season about Kyle Larson, but right now Denny Hamlin's the hot hand.
Yeah, early on in that race, the Hendrick cars were like all up front. I mean, they were running like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 4. I mean, they were up there, and I'm thinking, oh gosh, here we go. This is going to be another sweep like the other 2 races have been this weekend. And then when it got dark, it changed. I mean, the track conditions changed. It cooled down. The Toyotas got some grip, and 3 of the 4 top finishers were all Joe Gibbs cars.
Yeah, with Denny Hamlin position 1, then Chase Elliott, then Kyle Busch, Martin Truex Jr. So 3 of the top 4.
Yeah, so it almost was a sweep, but I mean it was close.
But he won. Denny Hamlin led 137 laps. Kyle Larson led 95. So, like I said, Denny Hamlin getting hot there. So, like I said, the money on. I think we talked with Jason about the money on Larson. It was kind of not very. The odds or whatever wasn't a big spread, right? So you would bet you wouldn't, like, it's not 100 to 1 or nothing like that. So it's in the low stuff. So Denny Hamlin's not, his odds are probably not a long shot either, but he's definitely getting there. So I'd have to say that maybe Denny Hamlin might win this thing. So we'll see. And he has not won the championship either. So Larson and Hamlin get in there. That'll be, two first-time folks who have not won the championship who will cement their legacy as a Cup champion. So, but anyway, I get way ahead of myself. So 2005, Denny Hamlin's cards. He's in the Optima. He has a base there, as well as a few different parallels. Not as many parallels back then as they exist now. In Optima, there was the Beckett samples and the gold number to 100 and the eBay previews. Optima is one of my favorite. I think I got a box or two I need to open of that 2005.
Yeah, I love the Optima. That's a good year for cards.
Yeah. 2005 Trackside, card number 37. And there's also a few parallels with the Beckett samples, golden number to 100, eBay previews number to 5, Hot Pass, and then a Hot Pass national, I guess, a giveaway or whatever it was there. And that is an insert card. And then the American Thunder, and that's card number 89. And then there's a Beckett sample, eBay preview, and License to Drive. That's also an insert. There's also signings, and I believe those were kind of randomly put in some of the different products like the Optima Trackside and stuff like that. And then there's a regular version, there's a platinum version, 100, and a gold version, number to 50. And then the Top Prospects memorabilia, number to 200, there's shoe, there's sheet metal, and tire. I haven't seen many of those.
No, I haven't either, come to think of it.
And I'm looking through the list. Like, I've seen the signings, but Top Prospect memorabilia, I don't think I've seen. So, yeah, Denny Hamlin. Cards I don't think are very expensive. Let me go ahead and come see and look.
Yeah, no, his cards are in the grand scheme of things and the way things are today, his cards are inexpensive. And in my opinion, are good pickups. He's a great driver. I think he may be the most winningest driver without a championship right now. He's due, and even if he doesn't win a championship, I still think he's got a Hall of Fame resume with all his Daytona 500 wins and everything he's done. So I think he'll be in the Hall of Fame. He may not be a first ballot unless he wins a championship, but I think I think he's a lock for the Hall of Fame eventually.
I would agree with that. I think if he doesn't win a championship, he's at that line where he would get in, that he's won so many races. But I think, to your point, if he wins the championship, then that locks him in the first round, definitely. And his cards aren't very expensive. So looking on ComC, just $4 or $5. There's a trackside out there for like $14. I don't know. I think there's only one, so there's no competition right there. But the American Thunder, there's 7 of them out there, and starting at $1.88. 3 of the Optima starting at $3.76, and the No Boundaries, which was that insert 4, starting at $4.50. So, and the Trackside Hot Pass 5 starting at $2.25. So, I think what you were saying, in the scheme of things, for somebody who's going to be a Hall of Famer, and we know how NASCAR is, I think, way undervalued. If something changes in NASCAR, gets hot for whatever reason, then these cards, I think, will definitely appreciate. And they don't have the print run as some of these other sports. So,
no, they don't. I was just looking at the all-time win list, and yes, I am correct. Denny Hamlin is 18th on the all-time win list with 46. He is the highest active driver without a championship, and everybody above and below him on the list is in the Hall of Fame. So, yeah, he will definitely be a Hall of Famer one day for sure.
Yeah, so he's almost pushing 50 wins.
Yep, he's getting close, man. He's tied with Buck Baker right now.
Wow, Buck Baker. As you said, another Hall of Famer. So,
and Bill Elliott is right below him with 44 wins and 1 championship in 1988.
I think this might be Denny's year.
I think it could be. I kind of hope so, because FedEx is located here in Memphis, so I have that going for me. I like FedEx. I have a lot of friends that work for FedEx, And plus I just like Denny Hamlin. I think he's a straight up guy, and he's a great race car driver.
And where will the ceremony be?
The ceremony this year is going to be in Nashville, which is not that far from me.
Yeah, exactly. So FedEx can make it.
I'm on it.
And my Siri is listening to me. I don't know if anybody heard that just now.
I did.
Isn't that amazing? My iPad is sitting over here doing absolutely nothing, and that just goes to tell you guys right now, everybody's listening.
Yep.
We're
glad our listeners are listening. So
yes, we are. We love you guys.
yeah. Hey, if you get bored during the show, hopefully nobody's getting bored during the show. If you have a break in the show, like us and share the podcast.
Yeah,
we're
and
on iTunes.
Shout out.
Yep.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say we're on iTunes, Spotify, and iHeartRadio, and Podbean, and wherever else you get your podcast. If not, let us know, and we will make it available.
Yeah, and shout out to Brazil for listening. We appreciate that.
Yes, Brazil, and all the folks from Ohio and the United Kingdom.
And Canada.
Yeah, New York, California, Virginia, Florida, Illinois, Texas, North Carolina. Thank you all for listening.
Yep. Thanks very much.
Next race number 31. That's the Yellowwood 500 at Talladega Super Speedway. That is Sunday, October 3rd, 2 p.m. Stages are 60, 120, 188 laps for 500 miles. And with that, playoff standings, Denny Hamlin locks into the next round.
Yep. Kyle Larson is a lock, I think, as well. He would have to just totally implode to not make it to the next round.
Yeah, it looks like I had position 7 and 8 before the cutoff for the round of 8. Joey Logano is +6. Brad Keselowski +4. Ooh, 2 Penske guys on the cut. And then William Byron -4, Kevin Harvick -7, Alex Bowman -13, and Christopher Bell -25. So the guys in the last 4, Byron, Harvick, Bowman, Bell, they need to either pick it up or win. And again, that's going to bump Joe Logano or Brad Keselowski. And Chase Elliott's in 6th. I thought he would be a little higher, but he had a little, I guess, some problems here. Still at 22, still a decent shot, but he's going to have to pick it up because when that gets cut down to 4, of course, we got the Roval coming. So
yeah, I've got him picked to win the Roval.
I think everybody got him picked for the Roval. I'm hoping that that comes true. So let's switch over to IndyCar.
Ooh, hold on 1 sec. Let me talk about Talladega for just a sec. Just in case. Oh, and going back to Las Vegas. That the Las Vegas race was the 600th start for Kyle Busch and the 750th start for Kurt Busch, and both of those guys are from Las Vegas. So how crazy is that? That's pretty cool. But going to Talladega, for those of you who don't know, Buddy Baker was the very first driver to break the 200 mile per hour mark in a stock car. And he did that in Talladega in 1970 in a Superbird, which is pretty cool. And also Bill Elliott has the fastest pole lap speed of all time. This record still holds. It's from 1987 with a speed of 212.809 miles per hour. I don't think that it's going to be broken in a long time, especially with restrictor plates. If they take the plates off of them, I bet they could break that. But right now, that'll never happen. And Brad Keselowski leads all active drivers at Talladega with 6 wins. I was there at the race where he spun out Carl Edwards and put Carl Edwards into the fence and won this very first race. So that was a cool day.
Talladega,
so anyway, that's what I got.
I was going to say Talladega is a massive track.
Yeah, speaking of that, it's the biggest track, or I should say the longest track in NASCAR is 2.66 miles in length. So it's just barely bigger than Daytona at 2.5 miles.
So my father-in-law had tickets for that, and we actually took his Cadillac out on the track. You're doing 80 miles an hour, and it looks like you are going so slow because that track is just so big.
Yeah, and you got to maintain a certain speed. I don't know what it is. It's probably about 80 or 90 miles an hour to be able to stay on the banking. Because if you don't, you won't be able to stay on the banking. You'll just fall off of it. Because I remember years ago, there was a race where the the cleanup crew was out there with their trucks and putting speedy dry on the track, and they were on the track and they were on the bank and they weren't going fast enough, and the truck slid down the banking.
Wow.
Crazy.
Also, if you visit Talladega, there is a museum right there at the entrance. I would recommend that. They have the when you're talking about Bill Elliott, they have that qualifying from that day, Bill Elliott's speed.
Yeah, it's the International Motorsports Hall of Fame. It's a cool place. They have all kinds of neat cars and displays there. Yeah, so it's definitely a must see if you've never been to Talladega. When you go, you got to go check it out.
Yeah, that's a good track. Been a few times. All right, IndyCar. That was their finale, their season-ending race 16. That was the 2021 Acura Grand Prix of Long Beach. That was Sunday, September 26th. That was Long Beach Street Circuit. That was 85 laps. Colton Herta won. So he won the race, but he didn't win the war. Alex
No,
Palou won the championship.
yeah, my buddy Pato O'Ward kind of got taken out of that race. He got spun out, and as a result of that, he broke a half shaft, so he was done.
Yeah, Joseph Newgarden came in second in points, minus 38. Award came in third at minus 62 points behind. And then Scott Dixon was minus 68. So he was close, but congratulations to Alex Palou. And I checked, he does not have any cards. Maybe with this Fanatics thing or what else going on, maybe IndyCar will get some cards.
Yeah, IndyCar needs some love for sure. Maybe that's a license Panini can get, or Tops. I mean, who knows?
Well, yeah, Tops does F1. So I did see something I'd come across where the TV ratings were up for IndyCar. So the more racing, the better.
It to me, it's more the IndyCar. If you like open wheel, who like our friend Beans Ball Cards, Ken, he's a big open wheel guy. I mean, I think IndyCar is much more exciting than Formula One. That's just my opinion. There's just a lot more going on. You just don't have somebody out front leading the whole time and winning the race. There's lead changes. There's pit strategy. There's of course there's the accidents, and there's other things that happen that make the race more exciting than I think an F1 race is. And again, that's just my opinion.
I'm not going to argue with you. But I'm glad that though we're starting to cover some of this other stuff, so I get to learn as well for the IndyCar and F1. And so IndyCar's done for the year, and we move over to F1. That was race 15 of 23, so they still have a few left. And that was the 2021 VTB Russian Grand Prix. That was also Sunday, September 26th in Sochi, Russia. Lewis Hamilton won that. I guess it's no surprise, right? It's either Lewis Hamilton or Max Verstappen, unless they take each other out, and then it's anybody's thing. But
this is Daniel Ricciardo.
yeah. And then the next race is not till October 19th. And that's the Turkish Grand Prix in Istanbul Park. Our standings right now is Lewis and Hamilton, 2 points above Max Verstappen.
Yeah, I think it's going to go down in Formula One. The championship is going to go down to the last race and whoever wins, which will be exciting. Don't get me wrong. I like close championship fights. Back in the day when Dale Earnhardt would have the championship, locked up 3 races before the end, that was kind of anticlimactic. But yeah, I like those close championship finishes.
And I think that's what makes our final race so great, because you got 4 drivers going for the championship, so basically it's not over until it's over.
Exactly. I mean, it literally goes down to that last lap.
So, yep. Lewis Hamilton, I don't know if we talked about his cards or not, but I looked over at trading card database, and they list a 2006 Futura Grand Prix card number 95, and then a 2009 Sports Illustrated for Kids card number 360, and then a Topps Trumps Tournament Sporting Heroes. There's no number on that, and that's also Lewis Hamilton Motor Racing, I believe. And then 2015 Sports Illustrated for Kids, card number 439, and then you get to the 2020 Topps Chrome Formula number 1. I believe that's the one that kind of everybody's chasing. But if you're looking for other cards in 2020, he has about 528 parallels and other flavors, I think, of Chrome, Sapphire, and then probably I think there's the higher end and some other stuff. So
yeah, so 2020 is not his rookie, y'all. Just so you know.
yeah, if you're looking for that first card, if you're looking for that first one out of wax packs, boxes, and stuff like that, then yeah, that's the Topps Chrome. But when you get to some of these sports like this, the Sports Illustrated is kind of, and then the Topps Trumps as well. So, but a lot of fun, different stuff to chase.
Well, the Sports Illustrated cards have really come on in recent years, and also being recognized as rookie cards. There for a while, I kind of dismissed those things. They came in a kids magazine, and I really didn't think much of them. But now they're highly sought after. Like Tiger Woods, and there's like Tony Hawk, and people like that from other sports. Their rookie cards are there, and those are highly sought after, and they are condition sensitive since they're perforated cards.
Yeah, you have to deal with them special if you're going to get them graded anyway. I know PSA, there's a science to how they grade those perforated edges where there needs to be like some of the perforation there. So I think you have to kind of destroy the cards around it to, get that mint copy. But like you, Logan, I've kind of stayed away from some of those, and always thought they were interesting, but I guess didn't have access either to the information that I needed to know, which one were their first cards or second cards or whatever. But like Tony Hawk, and I think there's some gymnasts and then other sports folks as well. So it's a pretty good collectible. So
yeah, I actually like those cards. I mean, since I'm a cyclist, I like Lance Armstrong, and he's got cards in there that I've head graded and collected. So yeah, it's a pretty eclectic mix of different sports and different athletes.
I think that's what makes it so interesting, right? Because there's like 9 cards to the sheet, and they could be all different sports.
Mm-hmm.
All right, moving over to our next segment. You want to talk about Prism, National Treasures, release dates?
Mm-hmm.
So I got over the NASCAR news wire that Prism will be releasing November 3rd, and National Treasures releasing December 8th. So mark your calendars.
Yep, I can't wait for the Prism. That's going to be an early birthday gift for me, so that's cool. We know that the autographs are going to be on card because we've seen, and this has been months ago, where we've seen these drivers signing these cards. So there must have been some kind of delay, and of course, there's all kinds of crazy things happening right now. The post office is behind. There's supply and demand, logistical issues going on in the world. So I can see where this thing got delayed because of, circumstances beyond Panini's control. But, because originally didn't we think, Val, that it was going to be in mid-October when they were going to be released before?
I think our original date was September 26th, I believe, or 23rd. So last week it should have been released. But
Ooh.
I remember talking to the guys at Panini where they were working with Chronicles, and they could get that out, I think, faster with the stickers and then the on-card that they were going to do later, I guess, and have more lead time for that. So, but yeah, as the world is testing the boundaries of shipping and just-in-time inventory, that I can see, some of these dates slipping to what we have now, right? It could be paper, it could be whatever ink, it could be manpower, it could be anything that the card manufacturers to produce these trading cards.
Yep, or all the above.
Exactly, right. Packaging and yeah. So, but Prism, November 3rd, and then National Treasures December 8th. So I'm looking forward to those Ty freaking Gibbs silvers.
There we go. I was going to wait and see how long it took us to say Ty freaking Gibbs.
About almost, I guess, almost 40 minutes. So let's jump into 1991 McDonald's All-Star Race Team cards. These were produced by Max. I do remember these. This is a cool little fun set. I remember going to McDonald's back in 91. I knew enough about racing, but I wasn't a diehard racing card collector. And I remember going and getting Big Macs, whatever. This was when I was going to college, and getting those packs of cards. And actually, there's some fun chase too, because there's a few variations to the cards.
Yeah, it's a 30 card set. It's a black bordered set. You know, it seems like Max was into the black borders back in the early 90s. You know, of course, they didn't have them in my area. So, of course, people here were freaking out trying to get them. Of course, you got to think this is 30 years ago. And this is like right in the midst of racing cards being on fire. And I remember trying to get these things, and I had to trade for some, and it was not cheap back then. But you know, of course, now you can get them a lot cheaper.
Yeah, one of the magazines from the 1991 November Collector's World, that was number 1, volume 7, on page 30. It mentions the 1991 McDonald's All-Star Race Team that there are 30 cards to the McDonald's set that includes an All-Star Race Team card with Earnhardt, Mark Martin, and Bill Elliott all on one card. In addition, each randomly packed set of 4 trading cards will also have a Collector's Series cover card. The back states that each card contains vital statistics about the drivers, including quotes from other drivers. This set was produced by Max Race Cards for McDonald's and was only available in the North Carolina area. McDonald's is scheduled to end the promotion on October 24th. Sets of these cards are selling for around $35 and include 8 error cards, which are selling for about $2 each at this time. The errors are on the emblem on the top right corner of the card. The blue background was left off behind McDonald's All-Star Team. On the error cards, errors can be found on cards number 1, 2, 3, 4, 21, 22, 23, and 24. So that's card number 1, Dale Earnhardt, Mark Martin, Jeff Bodine, and Bill Elliott. And then Dave Marcus, Dick Trickle, Rick Wilson, and Jimmy Spencer. So you can find those with and without the blue bar in the McDonald's All-Star logo.
So basically, a third of the cards had errors. That's not good.
Well, we talked about that before about
not good. Yeah. It makes you wonder if that was a manufactured error or not. I mean, back then, you know, error cards were a big thing. It's like, oh gosh, got to get this card, and then you got to get the error card. So you know, it creates a bigger demand. You know, supposedly, at least back then, it was really a big thing. It's not so much now, but back in the 80s and 90s, error cards were a big thing. So, you know, it makes you wonder if these manufacturers really were, you know, doing these things on purpose.
Yes. In the Max Facts, volume 2, number 3, they mentioned, so this was produced by Max, and they would have, you know, they would be in the know for that. But so they said on August 30th, McDonald's, in association with Max Race Cards, kicked off their 1991 All-Star Race promotion with free McDonald's Max Race Cards giveaways at McDonald's located in and around the Wilmington, Darlington, and Florence, South Carolina areas. So that's August 30th, and I think the other article said that it comes to a close.
Was it October 24th, I think?
Something like that. So then that gives you an idea of the time window in there. And then over 260 McDonald's across North and South Carolina are scheduled to participate in this special promotion, in which McDonald's customers purchasing a bacon, egg, and cheese value meal or Big Mac extra value meal will receive 4 randomly packed McDonald's Max collector's cards along with 1 cover card. Featured on these cards are the 29 NASCAR drivers who finished the highest in the 1990 Winston Cup standings in the McDonald's 1991 All-Star Race Team of Bill Elliott, Mark Martin, and Dale Earnhardt. There are 31 cards in all, with the addition of the cover card. This promotion will run through October 24th or until all the cards are gone, whichever comes first. Unfortunately, we are unable to inform our club members about this promotion until now. Our hope are that the special promotions will be so successful that next year we will expand it so that McDonald's and Max fans across the country can take part. Also, please be aware that these cards will never is underlined, be available directly from Max. You'll only be able to get them at participating McDonald's franchises. Our advice to anyone who would like a set is simply get them while they're hot. And that's in quotes. Or call a friend in the Carolinas who can.
Or email them. Or text them. Oh, wait a
Yeah.
minute. You can't do that. You can't do that in 1991.
No.
And you know something, Val? This was a true regional set. And that's something that I miss and I think is sorely missed through the hobby these days. We really don't have any regional card issues anymore. That harkens back to the days of like the 50s, especially the 50s, where there was a ton of regional cards, not necessarily racing, but just baseball cards or whatever. And I really do miss having regional cards because they're fun to try to get. But, in these days and times, it's not like it was back in the 50s. You can get them, pretty easy still, but I still like regional sets.
Well, you'll like this one here. There was an article in December 1991, and that was volume 2, number 4. That was on page 4. I believe that was Collector's World, where the McDonald's All-Star Team Set promotion, the Max McDonald's All-Star Team promotion in North Carolina and South Carolina officially ended on October 24th. Over 250 McDonald's locations participated in the promotion, in which customers were able to obtain 4 card packs of specially designed driver cards when purchasing a meal. Apparently, some individuals took this to the extreme. One report had a woman in Taylorsville, North Carolina, buying 350 breakfast meals to get 350 packs of cards.
That sounds like today with people in the dang Pokemon cards.
The food went to a nursing home, and she kept the cards. With reactions like that to the cards, it wasn't surprising that Max has had a number of people calling to ask why the cards were only offered in the Carolinas. The answer is simple, that the Carolinas were the only place where a large number of McDonald's franchises wanted to be involved. Yet others have asked why club members weren't given the opportunity to get the cards through Max. Our answer is if you could get them from us, you wouldn't need to go to McDonald's, which was the main idea behind the whole promotion. So this promotion was a big success, and I believe McDonald's and Max teamed up again in 1992 for another promotion.
Yep, they did.
So we learned how they selected the top cards. So that was how they finished in 1990. So I did not know that until investigating this. I have seen some folks where they have tried to get a complete set autographed. So that's a pretty good task as well. Most of the drivers are still with us.
Yeah, of course, Dale Earnhardt's gone.
Yeah, Dick Trickle.
Yeah, it's
But
back then the drivers, they were signing a lot of cards, and you can still find, autographed cards of those guys, even though they're deceased.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not impossible, but it's a cool little set. And like I said, it's black borders. They had a thing for Max and black borders, like we talked about with 1990, 91, 92. And in 92, they had a red border set, and then a black border set was the hobby set. So,
yeah. And I'm looking at the PSA pop report for grading on those. And you can tell because of the black border that a lot of people don't get these things graded. There's only been 10 cards total graded. And it looks like half of those are Dale Earnhardt, and one being Dale Jarrett and 4 Richard Petty's. No 10s whatsoever.
No 10 9s?
Yeah, there's looks like there's 4 9s.
Wow.
But no 10s.
Interesting. And then on a side note, while we talked about it, I guess it was a few weeks ago where we talked about the 1991, and then we talked about the 3D acrylic cards.
Mm-hmm.
I found a little article in the April 1992 volume 2 number 5 on page 14. I think this was the Max Facts. They talk about the new Max 3D acrylic cards to feature Bill Elliott, Bobby Hamilton, Derek Cope, and J.D. McDuffie. If you enjoyed the Bill Elliott 3D acrylic cards that were first offered in late 1991, you'll soon be able to add 4 more of these unique cards to your collection with the release of the 1992 versions of Bill Elliott, Bobby Hamilton, Derek Cope, and the late J.D. McGuffey, featuring our 1992 red card design and all new photos on their fronts, which I didn't know that. These 4 cards will be available sometime this spring and will cost just $7.95 plus $5.95 plus $2 shipping and handling. If you purchase a 1991 Bill Elliott 3D acrylic, you'll notice that the price of each of these new cards is a bit less, which is a direct result of the fact that these cards, and this is underlined, will not be numbered or printed in predetermined quantity. In presenting these 4 new cards, we also pleased to inform our club members that all proceeds from the sale of the J.D. McDuffie card will go directly to the Memorial Fund, which was established to assist his wife and family shortly after the Winston Cup veteran's death at Watkins Glen last July. A quiet, determined man who dedicated his life to racing, JD was a member of our set each of the past 4 years, and we feel honored to be able to contribute in such a worthy cause. We certainly hope that all of our club members feel the same way. And so they give more information about to get a 1992 3D acrylic card of JD, Bill, Bobby, or Derek. You fill out the club order form. So
Yeah, I can kind of see why they have Bill and they've got J.D. McDuffie in there, but Bobby Hamilton and Derek Cope, that's kind of,
well, Cope I know because he won Daytona,
yeah, that's it.
and then Hamilton I'm not sure. You might know
Maybe
better than me.
because he was a rookie. Well, no, he was. Yeah, he was. When was he a rookie? He was rookie 91. So maybe that's why.
Maybe.
Yeah, it'd
But I
been
saw
cool to
that,
have
and
Dale Earnhardt.
I saw that article, and we had talked about that acrylic cards, and I remember you talking about. Oh, I didn't even know it was numbered on on the back of that Bill Elliott.
Yeah, I had no idea.
So that just gives a little more information on those acrylic cards. So if anybody's wanting that information, here you go. That's why you listen to NASCAR radio. We're going to talk about stuff and pull some of this stuff out of the archives and dust it off and put it in audio form for future generations. Let's switch gears to eBay auctions. I
Yeah,
know the one you had hit me up on Twitter about earlier in the week.
the '88 Max Dale Earnhardt.
Yes.
Go ahead and talk about that one.
Yeah, you spotted it, and it had all the telltale signs of a counterfeit or fake. Again, the easiest way to find it is to flip it over and look at the back. I believe it's his hometown, Kannapolis, North Carolina. Kannapolis is spelled wrong.
Yeah, it's like Kannapolis with an extra L in there.
Yeah. There's other telltale signs as well, but it's a little more subtle, or need more of a close-up picture. So as long as they're posting an image of the back, and you should always, if you're bidding on a card or looking at this card, always look at the back for the Kannapolis. So
Yeah, but there's also the telltale sign on the front. Don't you have a link to NASCAR radio that talks about how to spot that?
yeah, I have that on. I believe it's on the racing card info. There's 5 ways to tell. There's an overbrush around the logo on the front. The red, if you look under it, magnification, I believe, doesn't have the print dots. And on the back, there's actually I think, a spacing issue with some of the text. But
Yeah, and of course the Kannapolis thing.
yeah, and again, if you're going to spend, I think that card was like $500 or whatever. If you're going to spend that kind of money, you either buy a one graded or take a few minutes and double check that, or hit me or Logan up on Twitter at NASCAR Radio or at King NASCAR. You can point you to the right location. Like I said, the last thing I want to do is anybody to pick one of these up and it not be real and waste that money. So
Yeah, one of our Twitter friends contacted the seller directly, and I haven't looked, but the seller said he did not know that was a fake card, and he was going to take it down. So I haven't checked to see if that card is still out there or not, but that was the last information, I think, as of yesterday that I knew about.
As Michael, the big friend of the show,
Yes.
all helping look out for each other. So
Yeah, we
and
got
you
to
can
watch out for each other.
yeah, I think I don't know if I looked at some of his other stuff that he had, and it was a lot of baseball and some other stuff. So I said those are one of the ones, if you're not sure, like I said, that was counterfeit. And thank goodness they're all like from that one batch. We haven't really seen. I have not seen any other ones that didn't meet that criteria. So
Yeah, Jason and Val and I were texting about it the other night, and Jason brought up the fact that he wanted to know if there was only like one print run, or has this been done multiple times? As far as we know, there was only ever that one counterfeit print run, because all the ones we've ever seen are the counterfeits are exactly the same. So that was a good question from Jason.
yeah, I want to say that kind of popped up in around 2007, 2010, or somewhere in there, where PSA and Beckett grading, they actually stopped grading for a time that card. I think until they could figure it out, and then you could get them graded again. So I think some of them maybe made it into holders, but if you purchase something, oh, do you? If you purchase something like that, you should be able to go back to PSA. PSA is usually pretty good about honoring, if they make a mistake or whatever. So that's, again, I don't think people talk about that enough. That's why PSA is one of the industry leaders when it comes to grading.
Yeah, they're the only one to offer that buyback guarantee if it's not legit, or if they did something, graded it wrong or graded a counterfeit card. They're the only ones that have that guarantee.
That's one of the reasons why I think, around that time I was going towards PSA.
That's a good reason.
Yeah, and then the registry, which was is a lot of fun.
Yeah, the registry is probably one of my most favorite things that I do as far as the hobby is concerned, is collecting and trying to complete sets on the registry. And speaking of that, I saw today on the set registry page for PSA that they now have what they're calling official images, and they have a little description here talking about that says, what are official images? It says, when an item completes its grading journey, we take a professional high-resolution image of the front and back. We currently take these images for these items submitted at regular or above service levels. So I think if you're doing bulk right now, you're kind of out of luck. But the plans are to expand this offering to additional service levels in the future. So that's pretty cool. So it says here that please note, for items that were submitted at regular or above service levels prior to January 2019, we do not have official images, as this was recently enacted. So I think a lot of this was just because of all the trimming that's going on. This way, they know what it looks like now when it went out the door, and if it comes back, they can tell, okay, yeah, this thing's been trimmed. So I think that's part of it. But the cool thing I like about it is, now you can go on there, and if somebody's got a particular card and they enable or they turn on the official images on it, you can see what that card looks like, and they don't have to do any scanning or anything. The caveat to these official images right now is you cannot use them, or they're not available to be used in an album or a scrapbook. So if you want to put those things in an album or a scrapbook, you're going to have to scan your own for now. But I think that's on the roadmap to get that done. But for now, I think that's pretty cool about having the official images, from the manufacturer. That's going to help a lot with counterfeiting and really, really help the hobby.
Again, that's why PSA is kind of the industry leader when it comes to some of this type of stuff. So,
yeah, I would love to see the hardware involved in going and scanning all these cards. I'm sure they have some kind of flatbed scanner that somehow does top and bottom. I don't know how you would do that, but at the same time, I would love to see that technology. If I ever get out to California, I'm going to get Steve Sloan to show me that.
That would be cool. The technology is pretty interesting. And then don't forget that they also purchased that company for photo recognition as well. So
Yep.
great cards by, or I guess they use some of that technology in their grading process. So, any other eBay auctions?
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at some of the most recent things that have ended. Um, One of the things that caught my eye was this ended on the 27th of September, which was just a couple days ago. It was a one of one Richard Petty and Jimmy Johnson 2020 National Treasure Dual Auto card. It had a buy it now price of $799.99, and somebody went click and bought it. So that was really cool. I'm a Richard Petty fan, so I would love to have had that card, but I don't know if I'd have spent that much. But I might have considered it. I just never saw it. There's so much that goes up and gets bought quick on eBay. It's hard to see everything. Something else that I saw out there from the old Press Pass days, a 2015 Press Pass Cup Chase Kyle Larson Signature Series with a rookie patch on it. One of one was sold for the best offer. It was listed for $1,200, so I don't know what it went for, but I would assume it was in the high 100s, probably for sure. I'd say it's probably $800-900 would be my guess. Another thing I saw was there was actually two 88 Max Dale Earnhardt rookie cards. And one was graded HGA 8.5 and the other was raw. And they had one bid and it went for $700 for those two cards. So that was pretty impressive.
Very nice. I was going to say, I was looking at the 1983 Unos. Really, the only thing that's sold has been the 83 Uno Richard Petty. There was a PSA 10. That's card number 23 in the 1983 Uno set. That went for $395, but that was back in July of 11th. And then in August 10th, a BGS 8.5 went for $715. So almost twice the price for.
Yeah, I think somebody stole that PSA 10. I think that was way too cheap.
Yeah, it went. Actually, it was it was bidding, right? It was 17 bids, so it wasn't a buy it now. The other one was a kind of a buy it now with a 10% off, or it says best offer, so that's always deceiving. Let me look at the original. Maybe I spoke too soon on that. It says sold for $715. So, but again, you do not see the 83 Unos very much. It's like the 72 SP, and again, it's Richard Petty, so probably other than the Earnhardt, which is probably the primary in the 83 Uno, second would be the Richard Petty.
Yeah, something else I saw that sold on the 26th was a Chase Elliott 2021 this year Chronicles Obsidian white signature autograph, one of one. It was listed for $999.99. It went for a best offer. So I'm probably thinking that was $500 or $600. It probably went for in there that range. That's still pretty cool too. And one other thing I saw that ended on the 19th of this month was a 2000 Upper Deck SP Dale Earnhardt Sign of the Times autograph card. It had 8 bids, and it went for $810. That's cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's great. I love those Sign of the Times cards from 2000 SP. To me, that's one of the best NASCAR sets out there.
Yeah, that white card with that ink on it, fantastic. And again, those 2000 SP authentic boxes are, I think you get 3 or 4 of those Sign of the Times, as well as I think it was MVP, which they were kind of putting. Upper Deck was putting whatever they had left, because that was, I think, one of their last releases before they got out of NASCAR trading cards. So, and again, you can't go wrong because it's Jimmy Johnson. You can get a Jimmy Johnson Sign of the Times. I did actually open a box and did hit that Jimmy Johnson. You got to remember, back then he was just a rosy cheeked kid.
Yeah, he's just a guy that was in the Bush series trying to kill himself at Watkins Glen.
Yeah.
That was a horrific crash. I'm surprised he survived that, because that's very similar to what happened to J.D. McDuffie. Same corner and everything.
Wow. But you were mentioning Chase Elliott, so I was looking at the 2011 Element, the undiscovered Elements, the autograph numbered to like 225. There was an 8.5 Beckett with a 10 auto, and it went for $240. I was buy it now.
I think that's actually cheap.
Yeah. Again, those autos are the only way to get them were out of the hobby boxes, out of that silver foil pack that is inside on top of the packs in the hobby box. So, and then there was a few of the PSA 10s of the base card. They were all buy it nows, but they were listed for like 325, 309. So they sold below that price. And then there was also a green, which we hardly ever see anymore. I think there's a green and a red parallel. The greens were out of the hobby boxes. I think the reds were out of blasters.
Yeah, those are tough.
Oh, I take it back. There was a red right here. It went for $56 back in July.
That's
So
actually
just a
not,
red, yeah, or just a
not
red,
bad.
unnumbered, yeah. So NASCAR is selling.
Yep. I think things are going well. I'm proud to be a NASCAR collector. I love NASCAR. It's fun. It's affordable, which is more than you can say for some of these other sports and releases these days. If you're not collecting NASCAR, I highly suggest taking a look at it.
Agreed. Right now we got a lull, so before Prism's released in November, so you can get your collecting. Still work on your Chronicle sets, Dunruss, and then your older sets as well. So again, if you're looking for something to collect, that 1991 McDonald's, not a massive chase, but probably won't break the bank. I meant to look at the pricing, say on Checking My Cards. They're just a few dollars each. Some of them are less than $1.
Yeah, it's a good
Oh,
value.
yeah, especially if, like I said, Black Borders, if you want to try. I don't even know if I didn't look online to see if there were unopened packs, but yeah, I'm expecting a shipment from Checking My Cards, so I'm super excited. That should be here by the weekend. I think I shipped it, or I don't know how many months ago, so I'm looking forward to see what's in there.
Yeah, speaking of them, I needed to get a shipment created so I can get my cards. Hopefully, they're doing a lot better, so I don't think it's going to take too long now. If I go out there and request to have some things shipped, I bet it won't take too long.
So one thing I did notice, and depends on the number of cards that you ship. If you have a large number, it takes a lot longer, because I think this last shipment was 10 or 11 pages maybe of cards. I've been shipping the 2015, 2016 Compendium hockey cards. I think I've talked about it numerous times. That's kind of what got me on ePack and collecting those cards, and then had kind of sticker shock when trying to mail them home, because each one of them is 25 cents. So was flipping some cards here and there to generate some of that money. But I was looking at a few cards, and that was only, a short amount of time, as opposed to, like, if you try to ship something now, it's going to be in December or January, a large number. So if that's helpful, so play around with some of those options.
Yeah, if I ship anything, it may be a dozen cards. It won't be a whole lot of stuff.
Yeah, I don't think the wait time is that bad for that.
No, and the ones I want to get back are really the ones that are graded. I've got some graded cards hanging out there that I want to get brought back to the stock car museum.
I hear you. Well, anything else you want to talk about today?
Let me check my list because I have a whole big list of notes for this thing. No, I think we're good, man. I think we've talked about everything we wanted to talk about.
Well, that's awesome. Well, I want to let the listeners know that you can check out our archive shows. We review, like we did today, the 1991 Max McDonald set. We've reviewed some other sets in detail, or more detail, like the 1972 STP. That's a big one. That was show number 29. 1983 Uno, show number 31. The 1987-88 World of Outlaws. Jeff Gordon has a little 16-year-old kid with a little pencil mustache. That's show number 40. And then we've talked about, like, the 89 Max, show 48, or the 88 Max, show 38 and 39. The 1990 Max, show 51. We cover the Sports Star photographics, the stickers from 85 and show 31. So you can listen to the 83 Uno and Sports Star Photographics 85. On show 31, you get a double feature there. And then the 86 Sports Star Photographics, those are the little bigger cards than your normal 2.5 by 3.5. That'll show 33. So check out the archives for that. We appreciate you listening. Like I say, share and like the podcast. Share NASCAR trading cards with your friends. And for me, Logan, and Jason, thanks for listening, and we will catch you next week.